Hello students, I'm here to take your online classes on the subject General English, Beehive, on the topic My Childhood, written by APJ Abdul Kalam. I'm going to continue the remaining part of this chapter, My Childhood. So students, please open your books and follow up. From the portion that we have completed, some short questions I would like to place before you. Do you remember the full name of Abdul Kalam, his birthplace, his parents? If you see it in the book, you'll be able to get all the answers there itself. Okay, let me tell them. The full name of Abdul Kalam is Abul Fakir Jainulabdin Abdul Kalam. He was born on 15th October 1931 at a place called Rameshwaram, an island town at Tamil Nadu. His parents were, his father was Jainulabdin and his mother was Ashyama. Do you know, students, how old was Kalam when the Second World War broke out? He was just 8 years old at the time. Can you name the school in which he studied? He studied in Rameshwaram Elementary School. How was Kalam as a student? Kalam as a student was brilliant and very hardworking. Now, students, let us discuss the remaining portion of this chapter, My Childhood. Abdul Kalam as a child noticed that his family took interest in helping the people in arranging boats for the annual Hindu ceremonial festivals in those times. And Kalam's backstories were from the events of Ramayana and the life of prophets narrated by his mother and grandmother. An incident took place in the life of Abdul Kalam. When he was in the fifth standard at Rameshwaram Elementary School, a new teacher commanded Kalam to give up his front seat as he was sitting with his close friends who were all Orthodox Brahmins. Kalam, a Muslim boy, felt very sad, and his close friend wept bitterly when he shifted to the back seat, and this was a lasting impression in the life of Kalam. After the school was over, the whole incident was told by Kalam and his friends to their respective parents. In those times, there were people like Lakshmana Sastri, the high priest of the temple, who made the new teacher apologize and restricted the spread of social inequality and communal intolerance. There was another incident in the life of Kalam. His science teacher, Shiva Subramaniam Iyer, was also an Orthodox Brahmin who had a very strict conservative wife. When Kalam was invited to their house for food, the wife of his science teacher refused to serve him food in her ritually pure kitchen. Subramaniam was not at all troubled by her act. Instead, he himself served him food and sat with him, and together they dined. Few days later, Subramaniam managed to bring change in the heart of his conservative wife. And after that, she herself started to serve food to Kalam whenever he visited their house. Then the Second World War came to an end, and India's freedom was imminent. The whole country was filled with great hope of unprecedented optimism. The time came for Kalam to leave Rameshwaram and go for his higher studies at Ramanathapuram. So he asked permission from his father. His father, with deep wisdom, convinced his mother to let him go to grow. So that was how Abdul Kalam stepped to change the world. Abdul Kalam, right from his childhood, was bright and hardworking. He graduated in physics in 1954. He studied aerospace engineering in 1955 and joined Aeronautical Development Establishment of Defense Research and Development Organization as a scientist. Abdul Kalam joined the Indian Space Research Organization in 1969. Kalam was the project director of India's first indigenous satellite launch vehicle, which successfully deployed the Rohini satellite near Earth orbit in July 1980. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was a great Indian scientist and politician who played an important role in the development of India's missile and nuclear power program. He is also known as the Missile Man of India. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the greatest scientist of the 21st century, passed away on 27th July 2015 at the age of 83 in Shillong, Meghalaya. His whole life's career, workings, writings is an inspiration to the new generation of our country. He still lives in the hearts of Indian people. Students, we have completed the chapter and the remaining portion that I have explained it to you. From there, I'm just going to ask you some short questions. You will get all the answers in your book. You please open it. What were the bedtime stories of Kalam? The bedtime stories of Kalam, narrated by his mother and grandmother, were the events from the Ramayana and the life of the prophets. In which standard was Kalam when the new teacher came to their class? Abdul Kalam was in the 5th standard. Why did the teacher apologize? The new teacher apologized as he tried to spread social inequality and communal intolerance. Who was the science teacher of Kalam? How was his wife? The science teacher of Kalam was Siva Subramania Iyer, and his wife was a very conservative one. When did the Second World War end? The Second World War ended in 1945. Where did Kalam go for higher studies? Kalam went for higher studies at Ramanathapuram, which was the district headquarters. Who is called the Missile Man of India? APJ Abdul Kalam is called the Missile Man of India. How long did Kalam serve as President of India? Abdul Kalam served from 2002 to 2007 as President of India. Mention the date and place of Kalam's death. Kalam died on 27 July 2015 at a place called Shillong in Meghalaya. How old was Kalam at the time? When Kalam died, he was 83 years old. So with this, I end up this chapter. Thank you.